Yeah, I was going to tell stories about high school and middle school, but most of those are too sad. As an adult, I was in the military for a little bit, and for those of you who don't know, the military is just paid high school. And so we always had kind of these events. One of the things about me is that I love to make jokes. I love to make people laugh. And also, I think that if people are laughing, they're not noticing how insecure I am. So, always double down on a joke, especially if no one's laughing. Like now. In the military, we did these things where we had to have like mandatory fun events, where we'd go out and we'd either go see a movie, we'd play like some kind of dumb sport. So we had decided that we were going to have an ultimate frisbee competition. And so for me, I am not what you would call athletic. I'm the opposite of athletic, and I don't have a lexicography to say what that word is. I think it's sanguine. I read that the other day. So I think that might count. So we were playing this game of ultimate frisbee. And I, at this point, had started to give up. So I had a little bit of belly. I stopped doing PT because I was out in like 2 months. So I was like, all right, I didn't care. So we were playing frisbee, and we just got beat. We got whooped, as my dad would say it, because my dad is a cowboy and I'm a cartoon. And so it's funny. A lot of people like to just kind of mess around. They love to kind of, trash talk. The thing is, I don't always perceive that there's other people in the universe. I just think that this is my life, I play a lot of video games, so I think that when I die, there's just a reset button somewhere. And so sometimes I speak a lot without thinking. And so at the time, I had this really BS job where I was the safety officer. So basically, I'd walk around the building and I'd look at fire extinguishers and extension cords. But really, what I did was I used it as an excuse to just kind of hang out with my friends. When we were at the office and we weren't deployed, there really wasn't that much to do. And so I kind of meander over to the office of the people that beat us. They were called the Dude because everyone in our unit, we were all linguists. And for some reason, they decided that D-O-O-O was the nomenclature that we would use, and then you had like a little letter at the end for whatever language you had. And for the Arabic, they were called Doob, or Doobie, or Doobie-Wop, or whatever. And I was part of Duke, and I'm not making this up, just that many people in the military are bad at naming things. And so I went into Duke, I went to talk to my friend John Bradley, and we were talking, and this fellow comes up, and we were just kind of joking around, and he's a really nice enough guy. His name was Italian, so it was a Ciccione or something like that. There are 2 C's, and I know it was pronounced CH. And so he goes, yeah, man, we really whooped your butts out there today. And I was like, well, yeah, man. And I fucked your mother last night. Because if someone goes in, you go harder. Because if I've learned something in life, if you're feeling bad, just make someone else feel worse. If you're drowning, just push someone down so you can float. And so I didn't know this because some people had laughed, and that's like crack to a person with ADHD. So some people had laughed, and I was like, yes, that's the word to make people love me. And so I just went in again. I was like, and he goes, hey man, you shouldn't say that. I was like, oh, okay, what's the problem with you saying I fucked your mom? And I went in. And people laughed again. And I was like, yes! I am loved! Take that, Dad. And so, clearly I didn't realize, and now if I was saying that I was nice and could perceive things and not a little bit touched by autism, I probably... probably should have stopped it too. But comedy runs in threes. So again, I just looked at this guy and I was like, yeah, your mother. I didn't curse. I said this would be PG-13, and I used up those. And so, obviously, because most of you know comedy runs in threes, however, there's also something called the rule of absurdity. So, the rule of absurdity is if you do something more than 3 times, people get tired of it. But if you do something 7 times, then people find it funny again. I don't think I made it all the way to 7, but the point had been made. And then Double C's walks up, and John Bradley is just red. And John Bradley, by the way, is one of the whitest people on the planet. Honestly, I feel like his parents came out of a sepia tone film. Like, he was just that white. Whenever he got nervous, he started to get red as a cherry. And as Double C, Chacon, and then walked away, John Bradley was just looking at me, and he was shaking, just bright red. And I was like, hey man, what's going on? And he goes, hey, you know, Ciccone, his mom died 6 months ago. And he was kind of in a really bad way about that. It was a very tragic accident. He had to be taken out, and he loved his mom. He was a single-parent household. His dad wasn't there as a kid, and that was one of the moments that I felt like pure, true, inescapable, gooey like a brownie, but for sadness of shame. Because I had realized that I had hurt this person. Because ultimately, nobody wants to hurt people. Nobody thinks that they're a bad person. I mean, you are a bad person, but let's be honest. I have a saying. It's a terrible idea to say that you're a shitty person. What you should say is that you're a person that has multiple traumas for which you've developed maladaptive habits which cause you to do shitty things sometimes. But that's a mouthful, so I'm just I'm shitty. And so I went over and I kind of let him sit for a day because I was going to message him on Facebook, but he blocked me.
Fair.
That did not hurt my feelings at all. It did. And so I see him the next day. I work in the secure building, so we can't have our cell phones on us. Again, this is all high school. Military is just high school because we're all under the age of 30 and we have enough supplemental income to spend on too much alcohol. And so I put my phone up and I was like, hey man, can we talk? And he said, no. And then he walked away. And I kind of realized at those moments that's what happens sometimes, you know? There's this whole weird pedantic argument about what's the difference between shame and guilt. Guilt is I did something bad, and shame is that I am bad. And the thing is more importantly, is if he wasn't being such a bit of a bitch about his dead mom, I'm not the bad guy in that. And to this day, I realized that even though I like to make jokes about somebody, that maybe I should learn to read the room a little bit beforehand. All right, thank you.